to be in control of 2/3 of the country, with government forces fighting on multiple fronts to try to stem the group's advance. 2 more provincial capitals are under direct threat. Violence has dramatically escalated since US and NATO troops began withdrawing troops from the country. The UN estimates more than 1,000 civilians have been killed in the past month alone.
5 weeks ago, General Abdel Fattah Mirzaqual stepped into the role of Afghanistan's Interior Minister. In all, he commands a force of 130,000 people. Today, he is driving to Wardak, a province west of Kabul. Much of the province is controlled by the Taliban. For government personnel, travelling by road is rare and requires an escort of special forces. In the last 3 months, the Taliban has more than doubled its territory and in the last week started to take provincial capitals. What's going through your head at the moment about those provinces? How worried are you and how do you stop more falling?
We are working in 3 phases. The first is to stop the defeats. The second is to regather our forces to create security rings around the cities. All those soldiers that abandoned their posts, we're bringing them back to their posts. The third is to begin offensive operations.
These trips are about boosting morale. He admits that has suffered with the advances the Taliban has made. After the Taliban attempted to assassinate the defence minister and promised to target other government leaders, security around Minister Mirzaqual has never been tighter. A simple task of visiting checkpoints requires this many special forces. He has survived multiple Taliban assassination attempts in his previous jobs as the governor of Kunar and Kunduz.
I am a soldier. A soldier never gets frightened. When we wear this uniform, it means we are ready for death. I'm not worried about it.
He says a lot of the government's losses are as a result of them losing control of roads and highways. Many areas must be resupplied by air, and after the US withdrew, they lost a lot of that capability.
Unfortunately, with their withdrawal, the fighting started in 400 areas of the country. We have very limited air support. The helicopters have been busy with moving supplies and evacuating our dead and injured forces.
So they are delegating to local leaders, empowering them to recruit within their community to rise against the Taliban.
There are concerns from the international community about these uprising forces at the moment, but all their members will eventually merge into the Afghan National Security Forces.
Wardak's governor says he already has 300 men fighting in one force, but he complained he could only provide weapons for 2/3. The rest, he said, he cannot provide with water, let alone money or arms.
For the last few months, people are waiting for their weapons, but unfortunately, the promises I made to these people were not fulfilled. But there is no doubt in their loyalty and desire to help.
Outside the room, the minister's men wait. Wardak police and soldiers join them. There's talk of last night's gains and losses, where they may be sent next, and how their many injuries are healing. Some briefly leave to push off a Taliban assault. Thousands of police officers have abandoned their posts in recent months. The Interior Ministry says they are returning and will be retrained, then sent back to the provinces. They say 5,000 people have signed up for the police force in just the last 3 weeks, with another 2,000 graduating this weekend. The government's strategy is slowly becoming clear, but its implementation is still fraught, and the stakes have never been higher. If the Taliban are watching, what would you say to them?
I'm asking the Taliban to stop their brutality, leave killing, sit down with love, and we should find solutions. I'm asking them not to destroy buildings or our achievements. Let's come and sit together and make a coalition government, one that would be acceptable to all sides. The sooner we do this, the better.
Yet they need leverage on the battlefield to force the group to make political compromises. And every day, with every loss, that leverage weakens.